Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Happy May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Gotta do that. Gotta throw that out there. Joining me for this podcast is my co-host, Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I mean, chronologically, you're joining me, but...
Oh, that's how it is, Eric.
Anyway, happy Star Wars Day. I'm reminded of a Conan segment with Luke Skywalker, and it was really bad. Anyway, yeah, Ida wouldn't let me forget that. I love that Disney's actually taken ownership of May the 4th as Star Wars Day now. Because why wouldn't they?
Eric, I got to throw one Star Wars question to you before we start to get into the episode. So, if you were a Jedi in the Star Wars universe and you could have a lightsaber, what color would Eric's lightsaber be?
Zune Brown.
That is a very sad color.
You're right, because I'm a sad Jedi. Whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
I would be blue. I have a blue lightsaber. I went to Disney. I built it in the.
Oh my god! You spent that amount of money on a lightsaber?
I 100% did, and it was one of the best days of my life.
Okay.
That should say I've blown my credibility for this American Idol podcast.
But you definitely grown you haven't blown your credibility for an Idol podcast, but you've definitely blown your credibility for any financial advice podcast. If we ever were to do whatever.
In the chat, Outplayed Panda says their lightsaber would be purple, which purple is it's a respectable color. But yeah, we are here to talk about American Idol. We've had our first cut of the live show, whatever this is kind of going. We went from a top 20. We now have a top 10, but with one judge's save, we are now at a top 11. Right off the bat, Eric, I got to ask you the results. Did we get it right?
No.
Why?
Because my favorite got cut again. Every year it happens.
It happened to me. We're both in the same boat now.
Yep, we are in the same boat. I have lost most of my investment, and next week I will have lost all of my investment. After Michaela inevitably gets cut next week, I will have no horses left in the race.
100% gone, right?
Oh, she's a goner. The fact that she needed a wild card means she's a goner.
I mean, look, here's what I will say.
The fact that she needed a wild card and 4 get cut next week means she's a goner.
Here's what I will say. I'll just leave it at this. A few weeks back, Eric and I did our draft podcast, and every single person who was not picked on that draft was cut. So I will just leave it at that. Will Tomlinson in the chat says the judge's save was so dumb. I mean, yeah.
The fact that they needed to save her was dumb. That's what I'll say, personally.
The thing is, the season, as much as I enjoy these episodes a little bit, although this episode wasn't as good as last week, it's still not going to be great because we're just going to lose people left and right. It's just going to be like it's a sprint all of a sudden. We're not going to – everyone's going home. Like it's just – it's no time to stay invested and kind of hope for growth arc. Like I said before, the contestants just play for survival, and that's kind of how it is.
Here's my thing. My thing is, last week I was really happy with the show because of how they didn't screw up the format. And I might have been a little bit too nice to some of these contestants. This week this was a rough sit. There was no one who was an F or even a D. But also, I would not have given a single performance last night anything above a B+. And honestly, I would prefer to have more variety. I'd rather take a couple Fs if I could get at least one A. Is what I'm saying. So,
here's what I will say. I actually would give one person an A-. Look,
really?
The episode, yeah, I would give Julia, maybe who we will talk about in a Eric is
No.
shaking his head already. We'll talk about it in a minute. But overall, the episode was kind of middle of the road. Yeah, I feel like once the high of that first episode, kind of once we got used to it, it was going to kind of follow it. But part of that, I don't think so much is the performances. I just think there were really poor song choices picked here. Pretty much.
I think there were a lot of terrible song choices, but that leads to terrible performances, or at least mediocre performances. So that's the issue. And also, I mean, a lot of the contestants none of them were particularly like out of tune, for example, but none of them blew me away or even came close to blowing me away. This episode left me totally whelmed.
I think that 7 out of 10 contestants just picked bad song choices. Everyone kind of just...
I'd say all but
that...
one. Actually, all but two. All but two. Two of them picked song choices that I thought were good. No, three, sorry.
It's also that the songs just don't go anywhere. A lot of them are very simple. Like, I can kind of get the logic because you're in your house. You kind of want to go straightforward, but I feel you can separate yourself a little bit. Maybe this is just the Idol format. Do you think if this had been a live episode, do you think we would have gotten the same song choices, Eric?
Well, we wouldn't have the same theme, so probably not.
But hypothetically, in a hypothetical world,
if they had a live show where all the songs were about home, despite living at home, yeah, maybe.
Will Tomlinson says, Joven performed better than last night, but I think his song choice was off. Like I said, he's one of those contestants that are just... Joven, I kind of was hoping he would have a big breakout moment kind of in these the early rounds of the live shows. And I'm just not seeing it. And I think he's going to 100% going to be getting cut next round. And I think that's no fault but his own. We move on to our deep dive. And right off the bat, we have a contestant that we're going to be talking a little bit about here. So first up, we have Louis Knight performing In My Place by Coldplay, playing it on the piano. What did you think, Eric?
I think it was, they pulled out all the stops for this kid. Showed him delivering food to people, working out, calling him a heartthrob. I mean, I just wish he was a better singer, was the thing. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but also definitely not worthy of a top 10 with this much talent in the show. That was cut this week. He should have been cut.
All right. Look, I don't know anything about, like, actually, that's kind of not a good stepping on point there. I don't really care about the intro package kind of stuff, but the performance itself, I really liked it. And this happens to me like every couple of... You're doing the editing right here. You already had that ready to go?
No, I just had it ready to go while we were doing it.
All right. So, look, this is something that kind of happens on like a more personal note when I'm watching American Idol, where I hear a song that I never have heard before on a show. And it kind of, for me, because I never heard the song before, it kind of becomes the contestant's song in a way. And I absolutely love this song. Like, I've never heard it before. I heard it for the first time on American Idol. This is like a terrible thing, but this is my most rewatched performance of the night. I have been rewatching this Louis Knight performance pretty much throughout parts of my workday today. Yes, you can say whatever. I agree. He probably deserves to get cut. I'm just saying I love the song, and because I heard it for the first time, I kind of really enjoyed listening to it, so I kind of kept going back to really listen. Outplayed Panda says Louis only had 2 good performances this season. Probably.
That's overstating it, I would say, personally.
Will says it was a good song choice, but still nothing special. I love the song choice. I think it was a good song choice because I really like it. But look, I understand it's more of a personal preference kind of thing. But for me, I loved this performance. And I'm not like a huge Louis fan. So this is just kind of, I fully expect him to get cut in the next round or two. But in this performance, I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Okay, the counter officially died because during that segment you said like 5,000 wrong things, which it was impossible, I thought, in like a minute. But anyway, yeah, I hope he goes this week. I really do. I mean, it's not really. He seems like a lovely person, but I mean, the fact that they love him so much and that he's just so average to me, and just the disconnect. I feel like I'm watching. I feel like myself and the judges are watching completely different shows when we're talking about Louis.
Oh, he's super average, but like I said, I just really like this song. That's kind of
And
really
the
where it
judges
is.
and the judges are like telling him it's the second coming or something, and it's like, yeah. Anyway,
They probably do that. They do
they
that
do
like
that
every season. Like
for every
Johnny
contestant.
Brenz or whatever his name was. They do the whole song and dance. It's just kind of they don't want people to know their contestants. Some of them are mediocre, so they gotta hype them up. It's like on America's Got Talent where they say this is the best season ever.
Give us brain implants if they want us to think that way. Anyway, let's move on.
All right. It's so funny for me. The first two performances of the episode are my favorite, like the ones that I took away. Eric is going to have a different outlook, but he's wrong. All right, you're not wrong, but I just really like the Louis song, Eric. It's I like it. Have you heard it before?
No.
Eric is furiously typing something he's going to edit into me. All right, let's talk about the. At least I think we can both agree this is the bright spot of the episode right up next, right?
Nope. Don't agree.
Eric really doesn't like Julia.
It's okay.
Julia Gargano.
It was fine. I mean, it was fine. I thought it was her best so far, but I was so underwhelmed by it again. Her voice just does nothing to excite me for some reason. And I'm really sad about it because it was a perfect song choice for her. And it could have been amazing, but it was just good. And sure, I'd give it a B, but yeah, disappointing.
Will said, I'm mad she didn't play the piano. Yes, I agree. I think this should have been a piano song. I really enjoy Julia. I think she's probably my favorite contestant remaining. I don't think she's
only probably. Really?
I mean, I'm not playing with the full deck after I lost like Genevieve. Like it's like at the poker table. Like I had 100 chips. I put 90 on Genevieve. I lost. Now I have my 10 chips that I put on Julia. That's kind of where I'm at. If you know what I mean.
But you said favorite contestant left, so she would be your favorite contestant left.
Because, she is.
Exactly. You said probably, but why did you?
I would maybe put Sophia too, but I think she's a goner.
We'll see. Anyway,
Gil says your expectations for Julia is very high. What does Julia have to do to win Eric over? Is the question I got to ask.
I don't know. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Thanks for last week, by the way.
Yes, it was awesome.
Anyway, let's see. What else do we have to do in the over? I think she has to carry some more notes. I think her problem is her voice. She hasn't really her voice just hasn't blown me away. I mean, there's been no I don't know.
It's funny how we always disagree. There's some contestants on Reality Hour we will never agree on, like Maddie, like Alejandro. Will says in the chat agreed, but I have no idea who he's agreeing with.
So,
I hope it's me.
No,
I thought this was I thought it was a great song for Julia. I mean, the song choice was perfect. Like I said,
it was a perfect song choice. Just like last week, it was the execution that was the problem. It wasn't the song choice.
Yeah, I wish she had done it on the piano. I think that could have elevated it a little bit more. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I would give it an A-. Eric is going to hashtag idol disagree, I think, though. Yeah, right.
Yes, I gave it a B, which is generous of me. But
is that the highest grade of the episode?
No. There are two about it.
All right. Here's a question to ask, because I did see some kind of people talking about it. Is Julia in trouble going into this next week?
Possibly. I'm not
she
going to
goes home.
guarantee it, but I'd say possibly. I mean, first of
I
all, she's a girl on American Idol, so yeah, she's in trouble.
Maddie won. That's a little.
I'm still shocked that Maddie won. I mean,
I love Maddie. Maddie was amazing.
Maddie will forever be the exception. That's what I'm saying. So
fair enough. All right. So, any final thoughts on Julia?
Nope.
All right. We move on to kind of a contestant that I'm just so
disappointed,
baffled by, and disappointed by. It's Jovan Webb performing "Voodoo" by Alan Stone. He has this cute little segment where he's bonding with his son and they build a stage. It was a pretty cute, but man, I'm scratching my head going, what are these choices you're making? I mean, you're kind of just with Jovan. I feel like there's so much more potential here, and he's just kind of not going for it. It's like like he's
the one that I meant to get. So when I said about Julia, I think I meant to say for Jovan, which is that his issue is that he has a great tone, but his voice isn't either not strong enough or he's choosing not to like carry any notes out. And I feel like it's just a little bit too choppy for me, if that makes any sense. And I feel like the song choices have not been it's the execution, honestly, for him as well. I like the song choice. I just didn't like the execution as much. I still want him to make top 7, only because I like 4 people less than him. So.
I think he's done. I think he's done, Joe.
Do I think he's done? Yes, absolutely he's done. But if I'm picking the ones I want to survive, I want him to survive.
I mean, I would have, but I don't know if it's production or if it's him. Just these song choices, they're just so like he is one contestant that it's just coming down to the songs. If he had been doing something different, I think there's so much he could have been like at the top of my list personally. And because this is now 2 weeks in a row where these songs are just kind of nothing performances, coupled with the fact that he's also been going earlier in the episode, I really think he had his chance, and I think that after this episode, I think that boat has sailed, and it's either his fault or it's production's fault, which is usually how it comes down to anyway.
Jovan was unique, Katie and Catherine. But I mean, he's unique, but I think he's a goner. I'm sorry. I really do.
I would 100% agree that he's unique, but he's not showing any of the uniqueness. He's kind of showing...
He's showing the uniqueness, but he's just not executing to his full potential, is what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, there's so much... he's one of those contestants like needs to sit down with like an idol like strategist for kind of how to plan a season run, because what I'm getting is just such a disappointment.
Okay, let's move on to Grace.
We move on to Grace Leah performing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." This was from...
I involuntarily said "ugh" when I heard the song choice. It came out of me without me having any possible say over it. I just like, really, this song.
I totally forgot. I was about to say something. Totally forgot what I was about to say. Grace, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Yeah, this song choice. This is another one where I'm like, this. Yeah, Grace sums it up perfectly in 5 words. That is That is the summation of my thoughts on it.
Catherine McPhee sang it better, exactly.
And that's all you really need to know. Gil also said, "What am I talking about? They have Bobby Bones." Yes, which is really awful because as I tweeted, and a number of you guys liked, was this is a weekly reminder that Bobby Bones is like a terrible mentor on American Idol.
Oh, this was a cliche, a palooza with him. So
yeah, Will said that. Will says Grace is overrated. I don't think so, Will. I think it's, like I said, with a lot of these contestants, it's just awkward song choices, weird decisions. Like, she's a country singer and she sang a song that isn't country. I mean... That's
not the problem. The problem is she sang this song.
Gil says she shouted it.
I didn't think it was terrible, but I also didn't think it was good. And with the song choice being as bad as it is, it kind of puts a damper on anything she might have done right with it.
Just weird song choices, man. That's like I don't even know what Grace, I think, is another contestant that is slowly losing goodwill. I think her win equity is starting to fall.
I don't think she ever had win equity or goodwill from a production. The fact that they didn't even put her through to the top 20 without putting her up for a vote first is all you need to know.
When I say win equity, I just mean their potential of going as far as I could see them going in the competition, which for Grace at best would be like 5th. But I think now I think she might squeak by this week, but I see next week there's going to be some problems.
We will see.
Which, by the way, this is another question I kind of wanted to ask. We went from 20 to 11. Next week we're going from 11 to 7. Isn't there only one more week after that?
Yep, so it'll be 7 to 3 or 4 in the finale.
That's pretty awful. These cuts, man, they're just brutal.
It's less bad than I thought it was going to be because I thought it was going from 10 to 5. So
I would prefer to go 10. All right. Well, anyway, that is Grace. Any final thoughts on Grace?
Nope. Let's move on.
We move on to Johnny West. He's performing Faithfully by Journey, I think it is. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All I know is it was on Glee, and Holly sang it season 11. Anyway, Faithfully, big song. Whenever I hear someone going for this song, all I think is they're going for those high notes at the end, the big kind of show-offy notes. And I didn't like this one as much as I did last week, Eric.
That's weird. I like this one more than last week.
I don't know. I feel like maybe he just didn't go too far with it. It's
Oh, he did, but that's because he couldn't. He did as much as he possibly could with it with his limited range. So,
which means it's a bad song choice.
Sure. I mean, I didn't hate it. I mean, I thought it was my favorite performance he's done so far.
But, I don't know. On the topic of Grace, Kathy Turner says that she's the only country girl, so she will draw the country votes in. Yeah, I don't know how effective the country vote's going to be this week because
I mean,
Arthur Gunn's maybe going to start siphoning some of that off with his song choice this week. I don't know. Here's what I'll say. Grace is not like some of the many country girls we've seen on previous seasons of Idol, X Factor, The Voice. She's not towards the top tier, but she's good. Yeah. But she's not.
She's good.
Anyway, she's yeah. Johnny, yeah, the song choice. This is one of those examples. I said just song choice didn't work out. I can see on paper, I was like, oh, that's a great idea, but he can't do it. Like he can't hit those notes. It's a bigger song that kind of he kind of decided to climb Mount Everest, and he just it's too big. He shot too high.
Sure. I mean,
any other thoughts on that? Oh, go on.
He's gonna make it far, but yeah, I'm just like he's another one where I don't see what all these people see in him, and I wish I could. Is what I'm trying to say. I wish I got it, but I just don't.
It's such a bummer because I was really kind of excited for Johnny. I think though
I wasn't.
I picked him on my draft, so I was hoping, but honestly, I think I see him going home in like 5th. They got 5th, that 5 cut, 5 to 3.
Well, it's not 5 to 3. It's 7 to 3.
Oh, it's even worse.
Yeah. Unless he makes top 3, he's probably going to cut after next week.
We shall see. Let us know in the chat. Where do you see Johnny ending up? Do you see him going? Is he finale bound, or is he going to fall short right ahead? I don't see him in danger this week, though. Do you, Eric?
Not this week, I don't think. I think he's safe this week.
All right. Well, we move on to Sophia James doing In My Room by the Beach Boys. And yeah, what a strange song choice. What did you think, Eric?
I'm sorry. I hated this. I really did. And it's like, I don't know why, but her voice was really grating on me this week. And it just bugged me. I don't know why. And she seems like a lovely person, but this performance was so not my thing. But some people on Twitter liked it. So maybe it's a you either love it or you hate it thing.
Yeah, Sophia James, I flip back from week to week. Like during her Green Mile performance, I really didn't like. Then during her first live performance, I really liked. This performance, I just didn't. It's like a back and forth. If she makes it through to next week, I'm sure it's going to be another really good song. And 1 second in the chat, Grace says, no, actually, we're kind of split down the middle on if Johnny's going to make it. Grace says he will. Will says he could see him winning. Outplay Panda says he thinks he's gone next week.
I could see him winning. I could see him winning too. I'm not happy about it, but I can see it happening.
Well, I would be happy if he won because he's on my draft.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right. Anyway, Sophia James. Yeah, this song. I mean, what? This is another example. I'm scratching my head going, what? I get what she's going for, but it's almost, no, because it's of the theme. Like she's,
whatever.
It's so on the nose that I'm like, I almost feel like she was trying to be a little bit cute with it. And I'm like, this isn't, I don't think this is working.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, but I hope she makes. All right. I think she's in big trouble this week.
I think she has to.
I think she's in big trouble, and maybe didn't realize how big trouble she's in because, like I said, I think the cuts are going to be 100% Joven, 100% Michaela, and from then on, I got to put Sophia in third.
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
I put her in second.
Wow, over Michaela or Joven?
Over Michaela. Maybe I'm delusional, but I really hope Michaela can. She's not going to make it. I just know she's not. But
I think it's Michaela, Joven, Sophia, and then I think that last spot's going to be either Dylan, Louie, or Grace. Honestly, that's kind of where I can kind of
quite possibly
think it's going. But yeah, this song choice did not do her any favors. Like I said, I flip flop when Sophia is on. She is on. Like I am hardcore. Like I'm on board with it. When she's not, I'm just like, what are you doing? It's her and Joven. I'm like, there's so much you could be doing here, and you're just kind of letting it go. And no, Sophia, what are you doing? Anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Sophia James, Eric.
Okay.
All right, we move on to Arthur Gunn doing "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver. He's gonna win, isn't he, Eric?
I'm not positive anymore.
I would have said
probably, but I'm not. I can't guarantee it.
I think he's gonna win. I'm looking at some of these numbers on people are posting like on the forums and on Reddit, like who's leading in YouTube videos and Facebook likes.
Oh yeah, yes, but so was Alejandro last year.
Maybe, but
that's
I don't know, man.
That's what gives me the hesitation.
Look, Arthur Gunn has a lot going for him, but this was not my favorite performance of his. This was very just kind of plotting, a little bit dreary. Will says the winner is either going to be Arthur or Johnny. If I'm choosing between the two, I'm going Johnny, honestly. I think Arthur's just kind of He's Philip Phillips 2.0, and we already have Philip Phillips.
Honestly, I think it might be Francisco. I think he has a chance.
No.
You don't think so?
I think Francisco is top 5. I think that pool is going to get diluted. I mean, you got Louis, you got Francisco, you got Johnny, and you got Dylan, and they're all kind of.
Here's the thing. I think Francisco's the best of the 4, and I think he has a chance.
He can't win. He's not in my draft. He's not allowed to win.
He's the only hope that I have for winning, so.
You have Just Sam. Just Sam's not winning.
You're right. We'll get there.
All right. Well, any thoughts on Arthur Gunn, Eric?
I mean, I didn't love the song choice. He's good. I don't have any problems with what he did, but I'm not excited about a potential Arthur Gunn victory, and I want to be excited about whoever wins. So,
Outplayed Panda said Francisco had actually an arc this season, which is, we almost said we would have cut him in the group rounds. Remember?
Oh, I totally would have. Yeah, I mean, this was the first performance from Francisco that I actually genuinely liked and I had no issues with.
We're to coin a phrase, we are jumping the gun a little bit there.
I'm going to ignore that, and we're going to move on to Just Sam.
Let's talk about Just Sam doing Grandma's Hands, which, this performance was very strange. There were some strange performances this episode. Just Sam, for me, was one of the more stranger.
All I'll say is that the edited version of this episode right now is going to have a picture. Adam watches one performance a week live, so I can watch it, and he made an awesome face while watching Just Sam this week. But you're all gonna love. It wasn't as dramatic as that. It was not as dramatic as that. It was a little bit less dramatic than that, but it was still good. I appreciate it.
There's just some kind of strangeness to it. I mean, look, here's what I will say. Vocally,
Fine.
pretty solid. Solid. Nothing. She was the most unproblematic contestant, vocally. The problem is just this song was strange. It was kind of a awkward. Yeah, Outplayed Panda also says awkward. It just didn't. I felt like, why would you pick this song? I get there was kind of some message going on here, but for a competitive song, there's just it's a simple song. It doesn't really go anywhere. You sang it well, I'll give you that, but you're kind of wasting it on a song like this. I feel like there's something better you could do. There's someone I feel like she's where we have contestants like Johnny kind of climbing the faithfully hill. I feel like Just Sam picked the easy route, and I feel like there's more to be done.
Sure. I mean, I just really didn't like the song choice. I still like her, but she didn't get votes from me this week, actually. So.
Who did?
Only one contestant got him, and she's doomed. So we'll get there.
All right, well, let's move on to Dylan performing Yesterday by the Beatles, which on paper, solid song choice. I was like, this is a good idea. Dylan is one of those contestants that knows what he can do, and he is doing what he can do. He's not trying some Katy Perry song. He's not doing an up-tempo. He is staying strictly in his lane. I'm almost a little concerned. Nah, I don't think he has any win potential. But look, song choice, check plus for me. Execution, not so much. This song, it's one of those songs that's kind of dripping with. On the surface, it doesn't have emotion. You kind of got to go into it. When you sing, it's difficult because there's a lot of emotion buried to the song, and it kind of takes a little bit out of you. And which is weird because with Dylan, I almost felt no emotion from it. I felt like he's just Yesterday without the emotion just doesn't. It's unsatisfying. It's kind of just lays there. It doesn't really. This is one of those songs. I go back to. Let me know in the chat if you remember this performance. I hope you do. Angie Miller performed Yesterday, season 12, and there she went with the emotion. She got there. And I feel like if you can't go there with the emotion and you're just singing it straight, there's not much there to do. Outplay Panda, yes, on paper it sounds good, but it's just the execution kind of just, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the thing is, I'm gonna totally forget this performance by next week. And the judges hated it. There's actually a performance they gave criticism to, and it was this one. So I think he's a goner because of that.
I don't think he's a goner too much.
I think he's a goner. He's a goner.
This week.
They don't criticize anybody. Yes, this week. They don't criticize anyone, and they gave him a lot of shit for this performance. So
let us know in the chat. Do you think? I wish I could is there a way to put a poll in the chat?
No, there isn't.
Gotta find that. Yeah. Gil says taking emotion out of a Beatles song is sacrilege. Yeah, that's kind of where I fall on that. Which, speaking of falling, we have falling like. How is that for a transition? We have falling like the stars. Okay. Francisco Martin, James Arthur song, Eric.
Yep. I was angry at first when I heard it because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna like this better than the original, and I didn't, but I still liked it, which is shocking to me because I had no expectations for Francisco, and I think he was by far the most improved for me this week. I like this performance. He was the only other one besides Michaela that I was even considering voting for.
Look, I thought this was kind of a middle of the road performance. I came through it. I honestly was the forgettable performance for me of the episode. This and kind of Dylan were kind of really just for this
was so much better than Dylan.
Maybe vocally, but for me, I didn't take anything away from it. It was kind of just it happened. I don't feel any real connection.
Well, the thing is, I took away from it that he didn't ruin the song, so that's what I took away from it.
Are you're probably very familiar with the original, right?
I love James Arthur. Seen him live a couple times, met him once. He's fantastic.
All right. Well, that's kind of my thoughts on Francisco. I don't have that much on him. So before we kind of can talk about Michaela, so this is kind of the point where we get the cuts. So very briefly, let's eulogize some of the fallen names that we lost. I think the big takeaways are Lauren Spencer Smith, Sanaya. We lost all the big voice.
We can stop after Lauren Spencer Smith, and we can just be sad about that one for a bit.
I mean, we also lost Nick, who was the last returnee.
Who cares? Who cares?
In the chat, who are you?
We lost Nick 2 weeks ago. Nick was overstayed. Nick was already a ghost by the time the live show started.
We lost Nick the second he opened his mouth as his audition.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, I'm really sad Lauren didn't make it. I'll just be honest, because for me, she was by far the best performance last week, and I'm really sad we didn't get to hear more from her.
In the chat,
But Grace said there no surprises. Yeah, I wasn't surprised by it either. I'm disappointed. Heck yes. Surprised? Nope.
In the chat, let us know who you would have saved if you would have saved anyone at all. Well, so we do actually get to the save of the judges, and they give it to Michaela Phillips. Eric, was this was the right call, do you think?
No, Lauren Spencer Smith would have been the right call. This was the second best thing they could have done.
Look, I think the best thing they could have done is not used it. Save it for a rainy day.
No.
Look, had Lauren made it through, Eric, you knew she was gone this week either way.
Oh, yeah, totally. And Michaela is also going to be gone this week either way.
But, yeah, because the performance itself just didn't really go anywhere. I felt like the song was
I felt the exact opposite, actually. I thought this was exactly what Katie's right. Katie is 100% right. I will say, this was exactly what Michaela needed to do, but the fact that she was the wild card and 4 people are getting cut next week, doesn't mean it doesn't matter what she did. She was a goner regardless this week.
Yeah, the save on American Idol. It's the equivalent on America's Got Talent of a montage of doom. Like if you're in it, you are screwed the next week. It wasn't always this way, but that's how it is with New Idol.
On ABC, that's how it's been. And as far as Lauren being Madison 2.0, no, she was better than Madison. Also got screwed over much earlier. Anyway,
I do want to say, so since we are going to be wrapping up the podcast in a few minutes, if you have any questions for us about the episode, drop them in the chat now, because we will be getting to those in a few minutes. Anyway, final thoughts on Michaela. Song choice. I don't think this was a good song choice. And that's what it comes down to for most of them. But the problem is I can't say that for everyone, because, like, you know, if everyone has a bad song choice, then none of them did.
No, they all did. You could just say they all had bad song choices. You can say that.
Dylan didn't have a bad song choice. He just didn't do well with it. I don't think
songs, but did terrible with them. Didn't do as good as they could with them. I mean, I like this from Michaela. I'm just sad that it doesn't matter.
You know, we see this all the time.
She got 30 votes from me, but they're basically pity votes at this point. They're like, I know you're not making it through, but I'm voting for you anyway.
I mean, the people who make it, like, every season, we get like an America's Got Talent contestant, and this is usually when they get cut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Has there been an America's Got Talent contestant that made it past like top 10 week?
Nick Fraudiani, damn it!
Oh, well, he did.
Won.
Well, he was in a. Oh, but he was He was in a band.
You know that doesn't matter. Nick Fraudiani won the show. We interviewed him for Christ's sake.
I totally forgot about that. This second. It's really. How did I forget him? All right, who else? Who have we had? We had Nick, we had Olivia, we had Mara, Michaela. Who else am I missing? We had Jenna, who no one's going to remember. If you remember Jenna, I will be very impressed. She was the season 15. I think she got cut like the first round, but she was really good. What was her last name? Jenna something. I don't know. Anyway, any final thoughts on the episode, or any last minute thoughts to say, Eric?
I hope next week's better. It won't be. Oh,
Gil wants to know, can we speculate what Disney song each singer is going to take on? I just hope we don't get another Color of the Winds. We get them every season.
We're gonna get Let It Go from someone. We're gonna get a lot of terrible songs.
I would have said Into the Unknown would have been a good idea for like Joven. Like go the Panic at the Disco route.
No.
That's bad?
That doesn't fit in at all.
Well, let's play with this for a second. I will say, I can't sing to save my life, but if I was on American Idol, I would want to go for like more the obscure songs. I feel, oh God.
You're totally right.
Gil in the chat.
Our first gonna 100% saying you've got a friend in me.
I look. In Toy Story, that song was amazing. Anywhere outside of that movie, I cannot stand that song. I want, like I said when we were talking to Katie last week, I want something from like a Meet the Robinsons. Like there's some great music out there. The last song of Meet the Robinsons, it's called Little Wonders. If you haven't heard it in the chat, I highly recommend you go watch it, because I think it might be my all-time favorite Disney movie. And that song at the end, it's just so goddamn perfect. And I love it. And it's such a beautiful song. Have you heard it, Eric?
Nope, because I've never seen Meet the Robinsons, because it was terrible. It got awful reviews.
That movie might be one of my all-time maybe my favorite Disney movie of all time.
And that's up there with Aladdin. You know about, and that tells you what Adam's tastes are like. There you go.
Is there a specific Disney song you're looking forward to seeing, Eric?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing whatever ludicrous outfit Katy Perry wears.
We're gonna get someone's gonna do Remember Me.
No.
Dylan, Remember Me.
No, he's not.
Why
that
not?
might be Francesco.
Ooh, that's actually. a pretty good call there, I think.
It's plausible, at least.
I don't know. Who's doing Part of Your World?
I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one for, like, Julia.
Julia can
don't
do
know.
Just Like Fire from Alice in Wonderland with the pink song. That would work.
Who's going to do How Far I'll Go? We're probably going to get one of those also. And The Circle of Life. These are like the most overdone ones that no one wants to hear again, but we're definitely going to. I mean, there's like You'll Be My Heart. That's a good one. Reflection by Mulan. 100. No, that the only time we heard that song on American Idol was Holly Kavanaugh, which I thought was really good when she did it. Bare Necessities was really good. Well done by Maddie. I don't know. Oh, Once Upon a Dream. Katie did really well with that one. I literally Googled best Disney song and I'm just going through them looking for like,
okay,
who's going to do one jump ahead? Got to keep one jump ahead of this something. How does that song go?
I haven't
seen that. Have you ever seen Aladdin?
A long time ago.
All right. Well, unless there's any other things to say, I will say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. You know this shtick by now. Where can we find you, Eric?
Eric _Ascher on Twitter, bit.ly/EricLawVids, ericascher.com.
Grace says the mentor did Part of Your World from Disney one night on Dancing with the Stars. I thought you blocked that season out, Grace. I'm a little bit confused how you remember that happened. Yeah. Any final thought? This was fun.
This was good.
All right. Well, yeah, Disney Week coming up next. We will be here to talk about it. Thank you guys for joining us. These are fun to do. We enjoy doing them. They're a bright spot in the quarantine, at least for me personally, to kind of get to talk about the show. It's just something fun to do. Like I said, again, to the chat, thanks for joining us. Eric, thank you for joining me for this discussion. We'll be back. You never know when. Until then, peace.